ML Nation, this is Simon Chan, the Oprah of MLM. I'm fired up. Now, this is actually a little bit different because I was actually, I'll give you a little tip. No, this is a little different intro because I actually didn't really prepare for this intro. Okay, because I got one of my good friends. She's like the sister to me. I was like, when I said to her, hey, Jessie, where's that intro? She's like, I don't need to set it. You know me already. And that's so true. So, hey, Jessie, we have Jessie Lee Ward. Hey, Jessie, are you ready to make it happen?
I'm so ready. I've been waiting. And I love that because it's so true. Like, I'm a talker, so you guys are just going to have to get used to it. But Simon and I have created such a good relationship over the last few years. And that is actually one of my biggest MLM tips is don't burn bridges, be friends with everybody, and maintain that relationship. And I know you guys know Simon's the king of it, but I'm so excited to be back on here with him because I'm in such a different place than I was in episode, I think, 101. I might be wrong, but I'm really excited to share.
Yes, and here's this, by the way, you're the only show, you're unique already, where I normally prepare, spend a lot of time, write out my intro, but for yours, I'm just going off the cuff here. So if I do well, great. If I screw up, hey, we just go hang out more then next time, right?
I know.
Anyway, if you don't know Jessie Lee, in my opinion, it was one of the best episodes, episode 101. And I say it's best, I still remember where I was and what time it was when we did that show, episode 101, the stuff you talked about Facebook groups using online. So ML Nation, definitely check it out, episode 101. But since then, Jessie Lee has done amazing things. Since then, that time she was like a low six-figure earner. Now she's a seven-figure earner since then. And so I'm just read off of some things. She's built a multi-million-dollar business all online, has recruited over 1,000 people. Her Facebook groups are total legendary. She's broke 6 figures a month with only 2,700 team members. I think the cool thing about Jessie is when she got started, she was in direct sales. She got started in network marketing, and I just saw her climb. She went like 10,000 a month, 20,000 a month, and then we were hanging out in San Diego. Then she was like 30, 40,000 a month. I was like, that's pretty impressive. And then recently in March, you were doing 70,000 a month, and we were hanging out in San Diego. We went to this Brazilian steakhouse, even though I don't eat meat. We were drinking like Capianas or whatever they were drinking, and having a great time. And now from 70 grand to 100 grand a month. And she just keeps rocking and rocking. And I think one of the cool things about leading by example, Jessie Lee's always been top in sales and recruiting every month. She's always leading by example. And another thing that makes her cool is that she's a huge dog lover. She's got babies just like me and my first son, Obi. So anyway, I've given a long intro. I think this is just instead of being like a typical show, let's just chit-chat and hang out. And I think the first question asked is, for those who don't know, how did you get involved with direct selling, and then from direct selling got into network marketing?
Yeah, so I started in 2011. I actually joined a direct sales company, so Party Plan, which if you're involved in network marketing, is just so different than network marketing. But I did the belly to belly for 4 years, was top in that company, recruiting records, sales records, built $1 million a year or multi-million-dollar a year team there. And I started that because I was living in my mom's basement, and she asked me, I was 22 years old, she said, Jessie Lee, I need $300 a month in rent to help cover expenses and stuff if you're going to live here. And I looked at her, and I was so embarrassed because I did have a good job. I worked in a pathology lab as a research assistant, so I have this total nerdy side about me. And I looked at her and I said, Mom, I can't afford that. And she said, well, I suggest you start one of those at-home business things. I'm like, wait, what? And so it threw me into the world of sales and marketing and all that good stuff. And I was good at it. And then we definitely didn't share this in the last podcast, so I'll share this, but my transition into network marketing was because I would get prospected, and I'm sure if you're listening to this, you're in the same boat I am, but I would get all of these cold Facebook messages day after day after day after day. Join my team, here's my link, here's this. And I'm like, well, these people need help. Like, they need to listen to Simon Chan. They do need to listen to you. And I just kept ignoring them, or I'd say, not interested, I'm non-recruitable. And by the way, I think anybody who goes, I'm not recruitable, I think is probably highly recruitable, but that's a side note.
So true.
It's so true. This guy messages me and he goes, Jessie Lee, I know you're not going to join my team. And I know I've sent you a few messages before about my network marketing company. But I see the kind of volume you're doing right now in your company because you post it on your Facebook. I just want you to plug those exact numbers into any MLM ever that you know the name of, and go from there. And I was like, who is this fool? Like, what are you talking about? Plug my numbers into any MLM like it's going to be any different. Da, 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 da. I swear to you, it was like, I mean, the only thing I can compare it to is if you've ever, like, walked in on somebody doing something horrible. Like, you saw it with your own eyes. Because I looked at my money, like, the money that I literally felt like I had been robbed for 4 years. And I was like, I sat in a corner of a hotel in Chicago. I still remember it. Like, I can feel it to this day. I sat in the corner of a hotel lobby in Chicago looking at the calculator on my phone. And I was like, I've been robbed. Like, these people are robbing me. This is not an opportunity. And that was when my mind was, opened to the possibilities of network marketing. And then it moved fast. It was like maybe a month later, I was like all in network marketing, MLM. And here we are 2 years later. So. And
you said that because you listened to my show that you got into network marketing. And actually, the story behind that, our good friend, John Melton, connected us. Actually, no, Jamal Rashad connected us. Big shout out to Jamal Rashad. I always giving Jamal Rashad shout outs. And he connected Meltons and us, and also you. And, you're like hard to get. You wouldn't reply back to my Facebook message. It was like our first year in the show. So now it's easy. People want to be on. But that time, hey, we're MLM Nation, I have to explain. We're a podcast. And you finally, after months of I guess you stalking me or checking us out, say, hey, all right, I want to be on. And then so we had that show, and right after the show, then Jessie, I switched companies. I'm not doing what I was doing. I'm doing network marketing, and then you just been exploding and take off. So it's just really cool.
Yep. Yeah, Jamal. Yeah, and that's actually a good story too, because Jamal, I told him he was one of my desperation phone calls, right, where you call a friend and you're frustrated and you're angry and whatever. I call him and I'm like, forget this. You know what? I'm just going to stay in Party Plan because this MLM stuff is a total scam. Like, these people are all pitching me the exact same pitch with a different color bow. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm kind of sassy if you haven't picked up on this yet. For those of you who don't know me. Like, very loving, but a little sassy. And I said, forget it. I live right outside of DC. I'm going to get a job in DC. I'll make $250,000 a year. I have 2 degrees. Like, I'm smart. And Jamal just stops me in the middle of the conversation. He goes, you don't understand, Jessie Lee. You would be a unicorn if you did network marketing. You would be the best of the best. You have to try this. And I'm like, and here we are. So I'm so glad that I had that, strong relationship with him. Again, back to relationships, where I trusted him enough to give it a.
So where do you people love your energy? Where do you get your energy from?
So I think it's my God-given talent. I don't mean to project religion or anything on anybody, but I think that everybody has a gift. And I think when you identify your gift, it is a shame if you do not capitalize on that gift. I think a lot of you look at other people and you try to copy every single thing they do. Well, guys, people do not duplicate. Systems duplicate. You cannot pretend to be Jessie Lee Ward. People will think you have some kind of mental condition, more than likely, or I don't know. They will just be like, who is she trying to be? Who's he trying to be? I don't know about that, but I think energy is my God-given gift. I also am a big believer in water. I stay very hydrated, and I do exercise religiously. I will tell you, it might sound counterintuitive if you're not somebody who's into exercise, but the more you exercise, I know Simon exercises every day. That's when he does his gratitude stuff during his walks, in case you don't know. I know all of these little fun facts. And he takes Obi on the walks, and he selfies with Obi, his first son. But I do believe in that. I think the blood flow, I think all of that is super important. But I think it's my God-given gift.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good nuggets there. We all have different gifts that we're good at. So let's go into online. And by the way, before we do that, I'm going to take an Instagram. I've been working on my Instagram, as you can probably tell. So we're going to take a little Instagram story here. Hey, everyone, MLM Nation, this is Jessie Lee Ward. Say what's up.
What's going on, guys? Super excited to make sure you follow everything Simon does because he is the bomb.com.
And I paid her to say that. But anyway, that is, I'm Boss Lee, right? That's your Instagram?
That's my Instagram.
So let's talk about Instagram. How do you use Instagram to grow your business?
So it's interesting you ask that because I just talked on a Facebook Live yesterday about wanting to use my Instagram even more. I will give you some tips that I got from Gary Vaynerchuk, who is way better at Instagram than I am. And you guys can kind of go with that and see how it helps you in your business. But First and foremost, I actually am starting to really like the pages that have like some kind of design to them, and I'll give you an example. So if you look at an Instagram page and you scroll, there are some people who are very good at Instagram who have themes to it. I am not an example of this, for the record. You can still follow me, but I'm gonna do this. But like, I'll give you an example. I've seen people who do like a quote, then a picture, then a picture, then a quote, then a picture, then a picture, then a quote, then a picture, then a picture. So that when you're scrolling down their timeline, it's like you have this beautiful, almost like, you know, artistic display. One I saw the other day I really liked, and it's because I'm really into like the Halloween makeup. If you're into tutorials and stuff, I don't sell makeup, but it's a hobby of mine. This one girl, she does left side of her face, center of her face, right side of her face, left, center, right, left, center, right. And it's over and over again. So when you're scrolling through her timeline, it's like this beautiful thing. Another thing that I love is don't include hashtags in your caption. So make your caption compelling, a little shocking maybe. Again, I was talking about writing copy a little bit ago. It's, again, one of my talents, but that's a skill, not really a talent. But write good copy. Don't include a hashtag. Put your hashtags, you can include 30 hashtags, 30 unique hashtags as the first caption of your picture. So people can still find your picture, but then they're not inundated with all of these hashtags everywhere. Utilize your story all the time. So I like to get a little funny in my stories, and that's really where I create my brand. I think my stories on Instagram are really powerful because I do the same things every day. I'm a systems girl through and through. So people start to expect me to eat tacos. People expect me to do a boomerang of me walking on the Stairmaster every day. People expect me to selfie, with a dog. People expect these kinds of things. And it's weird because you might be like, really? Are people going to care about that? People watch that because people who are interested in joining your business want to see if they can relate to you somehow, some way, right? So being silly, a little more candid. It's only on there for 24 hours. I think that's really a very strong route to go when you're using Instagram. And then it's the same as Facebook, but guys, offer value. A lot of you wonder why my algorithm's bad. Mark Zuckerberg must have changed the algorithm. Guys, if you're offering value, you get value back. So are you clicking like on people's things? Are you following people back that you have the same interests with? Are you commenting on people's photos? Are you using the Explore page on Instagram to find people who are like-minded? Because Instagram really does a great job of filtering the kinds of people that are like you. You just need to utilize that. I mean, they do a better job of that than even Facebook does. I mean, they literally smack you in the face with, here's what you keep looking at. Why don't you talk to these people?
You got to have engagement and value. Hey, getting back to those hashtags. Use the hashtags on a picture at the front of the picture.
So instead of making it your caption, so when you're posting a picture, instead of being like, hey guys, this is Simon Chan and Jessie Lee Ward crushing it on episode blah, blah, blah of MLM Nation. Hashtag MLM Nation, hashtag MLM, hashtag network marketing, hashtag. Just the caption, no hashtags. Go immediately comment on your picture. Like you make the actual comment on your picture, just a block of hashtags. And a little note of what you could do with that is just make a note in your cell phone. I'm sure Simon will do this, of course, because he's like the organization king. But I would make a note where you hashtag all of the either trending hashtags or hashtags that are applicable to your business. So if you're in network marketing and you're listening to this, which I would assume you probably are, or you're like a Simon Chan stalker, that's okay too. He's got a beautiful family. I don't blame you. But hashtagging stuff, like I said, MLM, multi-level marketing, network marketing, entrepreneur, business, mindset, hard work, residual income, wealth, money, millionaire, whatever. Things where people who are looking for opportunities are going to click on it. And then, of course, and then it's easier because you can just copy and paste as your caption, your 30 hashtags. And then you can kind of make like a note section for, okay, I'm traveling. This one could be hashtag American Airlines, hashtag travel, hashtag travel bug, hashtag time freedom, hashtag whatever. You get the point. But you can also just Google that because obviously trending hashtags change. So throughout weeks and months, make sure you're not hashtagging something that maybe all of a sudden has controversy behind it. And now people are like, oh my gosh, that Jessie Lee girl, la la la. You don't want that to happen to you.
Awesome stuff. Hey, let's transition to Facebook. So how do you use Facebook to grow your business? For those who don't, because you built a 7-figure business online, guess you're using social media. So how do you use Facebook?
So Facebook is my jam. I suggest you follow me. I don't want to be like a selfless, shameless promoter, but I'm telling you, if you want to learn how to crush Facebook, you need to hit the follow button. So I started with let's back it up. Let's back it up. I started with 200 Facebook friends. So those of you who are listening to this and you're like, she is not relatable, she has 20,000 followers, she la 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 la, whatever. Guys, I promise you, it started with 200 humans. Okay?
And I'm going to vouch for that. And when I met Jessie Lee, it seems like we've known each other for a long, long time because we hang out all the time. But when we first hung out, she only had a couple of friends, and it just so totally took off.
Yeah. So, that's no joke. So I want to give you hope for those of you who are sitting there like, I'm not troubled. Okay, no, you're not troubled. We all start with zero. And my friends, my 200 were high school people I went to school with. And family members. So it wasn't even 200 prospects. It wasn't, no. There was no quality there. I mean, you know what I mean? They weren't people that I was going to be able to do business with. So from there, I made a rule that I love, and I still always tell people to do this if they're launching a business, and it was a 5-a-day rule, and it was a minimum for me. So for those of you who are you're an influencer, you're going to be amazing, you're going to change the world, you just know you don't have a social media following, I suggest you do more than 5, okay? Be above and beyond, but do a minimum of 5 a day. And it was just, I added 5 people a day to my Facebook to keep friends coming my way. So I would connect with somebody in person, and it was always genuine. My goodness, guys, I see some of you out there, it's you're like Regina George from Mean Girls. You're complimenting somebody on their shirt and you think it's the ugliest thing ever. Don't do that. If you don't like their shirt, don't tell them you like their shirt, okay? But Simon so I love Simon. So I mean, clearly, okay? But Simon has this MLM Nation wardrobe. He has his loungewear. I think he probably owns 17 of those shirts he's wearing right now if you're watching this live. Then he has his sort of kind of I'm business casual. It's the same. And then he's got the suits and they're all the same, right? But anyway, that's a side note. I
told you she's been stalking me.
I just know you.
No, we hang out a lot.
Know people. That's why I think that's.
I had to tell her she thought I was wearing the same shirt all the time. No, I actually do my laundry. I have 20 of these.
Right, I know you do. That's what I'm saying. You're not dirty. You just are very you have your classic wardrobe. Your business professional. But anyway, so his shirt he's wearing, if you're listening to the podcast, is he's got his MLM Nation podcast shirt on. And if you did not know what that was, without a doubt, if it were me and I needed my 5 a day, I would have no problem walking up to Simon and saying, I really like your shirt. What is that? He's going to have a conversation with me. I'm going to say, and this is a line, so write it down. I literally would tell people, I'd say, I'm really sorry. I'm in a rush. Do you have Facebook, though? Because I actually enjoyed this conversation. And I am telling you, 99% of people have Facebook. There are 2 billion humans on Facebook. And if you live in America, I swear it's 99%, okay? They will say, yeah, I do. I'm like, can you send me a friend request really quickly? No joke, okay, this might sound crazy, but it works. I take their phone, guys. I take their phone. I say, my name's kind of spelled weird. My name is not spelled weird. And I type my own name into the search bar on Facebook. I send my own self a friend request. And then I take my own phone out of my back pocket or purse when I walk away, because I pretend I don't have my phone. Okay, guys, these are little tips. They work very well, okay? And then you've got another friend. And I did 5 of that a day. I would go to the grocery store. I would go to Costco. I would go, to the dog park, whatever. Just 5 a day connecting with people. And that was my first thing. But I will tell you, the crazy amounts of followers, the whatever, that is Facebook Live through and through. And you can be the worst Facebook Liver on the planet. We all were when we started. Okay, so you're not going to be confident about it. You're not going to feel like you know what you're doing. You're going to feel stressed out about it the first probably 10 or 15 times you do it. And then you're going to be like, I kind of love this. I kind of love this. And if you have any kind of social skills, you'll start to enjoy it because you'll feel like you're actually connecting with people because that's what you're doing. You can read the comments. You start recognizing names. You start going on their Facebook pages and seeing what their life is about and what their kids are about and what their hobbies are. And then you can make real connections and you can explode your business. That's what I did. In my lives, they started with 100 views. And if you think about this, This is why I built my business online. I don't know how many of you who are listening to this can every single night of the week get 100 people in a room 7 nights a week. So for those of you who get stressed out because you look at somebody's Facebook Live, like I've got a couple over 40,000 views, and you're like, I could never. Guys, like, don't compare to what I'm doing. Compare to yourself. Are you currently sitting 100 butts in seats on a Monday night, a Tuesday night, a Wednesday night, a Thursday night, a Friday night, a Saturday night, a Sunday night, and repeat? If the answer is no, then Facebook Live is absolutely getting you more engagement than you're currently getting, because that's 100 eyeballs on you. That is 100 unique views. So yeah, Facebook Live all day long. It will build you your following like crazy, especially if you ask for engagement. Like right now, I know some of you are watching live. I can't see the live stream. But if I were to say, if you're getting value from this, hit the share button and I'll make sure I give you a full name shout out. You guys, like, you better be slamming that share button, right? Like, you better be slamming it. It's going to help your team make money. Creating calls to action, getting people to drop. I'm the emoji girl. I started this, like, drop an emoji below. Drop a, what do I used to say the poop emoji a lot because I think it's a funny emoji. But I'd be like, drop a unicorn below if you like my Halloween makeup. Drop a lipstick below if you want me to do a makeup tutorial. Drop a smiley face below if you're feeling good or whatever. But asking people to do things so it boosts you up in people's timelines. You get even more than 100 views. You start getting people to share your stuff. And only talk, this is a really good tip, only talk about stuff you're comfortable talking about. Don't be the person who feels like you need to get on Facebook Live and talk about recruiting when you've never recruited somebody and it gives you anxiety. If you're comfortable telling people how to curl their hair, then get your booty on Facebook Live and tell somebody how to curl their hair or brush their teeth or oil pull or, do a face mask or, dress themselves properly. Or I watched somebody fold a fitted bed sheet and I was blown away. I think I watched it 4 times and I still can't fold a fitted bed sheet. Like, you guys have talents. You have skills. You need to show people them.
Awesome. And I love how you start you have the hello.
Oh, my hello. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I realize I'm not flipped. So I'll flip it this way. I hold this up at the beginning of every video. I go, hello, everybody. It's Jessie Lee Ward. You can also call me #BossLee. That's my intro.
There you go. I love that intro. And I know you definitely didn't get that in the first couple of lives.
No. Negative.
Good stuff. Hey, speaking of Facebook Live, for those who are watching, you're watching Boss Lee. Go out there and share this. I'll also tag her on there, but really, really good stuff. I'm going to go dive deeper into online duplication. But before we do that, let's talk about Facebook groups. I know you use Facebook groups as a big part. I mean, even when we first talked in 2 years ago, episode 101, you talked about it. But talk a little about Facebook groups, how you use that to grow your business.
Sure. So it just goes back to what I said about you cannot duplicate yourself. You need to be able to duplicate systems. So I was really excited the first time I ever met Ray Higdon. He pulled me up on his stage at his event in Florida, that's where I met you in person for the first time. Remember? I recognized you.
I remember that. And I recognize you because you
fluffy hair.
I remember because you have purple hair. Like, that must be Jessie Lee. I was like, because we were texting, and then you was like, I'm in the front. I was like, how could I tell? Well, just look for who's in the purple hair. Oh, that must be her.
I remember that so well. And Ray let me come up on stage because I had really started hitting momentum in my business, and I had created this whole ATM ad tag message system. And he was like, please share. And I had never even spoken to Ray before, but I think that kind of gives you a testimony about the kind of human he is. And so that was a really cool experience. But listen to episode 101 for how I use like a team Facebook group. I think that'll really benefit you guys because I still use that same kind of scheduling still rolls through. There's a couple, new stuff, some nuances I can always, of course, share with you on here. I'm a total open book. But the ad tag message was basically, every system I've ever made is very organically made. So what was happening is we had a team page that was cranking and people would say, hey, my lead keeps asking me about the comp plan. And so I made a comp plan video. And I said, all right, let's make a separate group for this. Let's move our team stuff over on this page, and let's have any lead that wants to be on this page, we'll add them and we'll tag them on this comp plan video. We'll message them, what did you think? What did you like best about the comp plan? And then, let's have some value on this page. Let's post pictures of like trips you've won, or cars you drive now, or the lifestyle that's been provided to you because of network marketing, or the friendships you have now because of network marketing. Just a lot of proof, a lot of social proof that it's not just the one big wig making, $1 million a month or whatever, and everybody else is like these little, scavengers. Like, I wanted to prove to people that we had a team that was making legit money. So we ended up having this group where it was basically like, hey, you're a prospect. Let's add you in here. Let's tag you in here. And I will tell you, this has become a finely tuned system. Like, it is at the point where we have stuff categorized by hashtags, like hashtag comp plan. If there's a country code, it'd be like hashtag comp plan NA, hashtag comp plan AU, hashtag comp plan JP, Japan, hashtag comp, whatever. Hashtag incentives, hashtag Y company name, hashtag, hashtag proved it, right? Like, meaning like, this is what I've accomplished, but everything is super organized. So I see a lot of people trying, and I mean, my whole like ATM thing has gone crazy in network marketing. Everyone's trying to duplicate it, and that's awesome. Like, please steal and run with it. But there are certain things I think you need, and I'm totally willing to share for free on here if you want me to kind of elaborate a little more on it. But there's a prospect group, and then there's a customer group. They're basically the same concept, guys. In the customer group, you're going to want to have, let's say I don't do makeup, like I said, but I'll just give an example for a makeup company. You're going to want to have pictures of before and afters of tutorials. You're going to want to have videos of easy tutorials. You're going to want to have product information. You're going to want to have information on the best bundles and packages to put together. You're going to want to have posts about confidence through the beauty stuff. You're going to want to have posts about how, the makeup has changed people's lives, and again, organize it. So I'm in health and wellness. So we'll have, of course, before and afters. We'll have recipes. We'll have exercises. We'll have, question and answer, a medical claim thing. Well, I mean, everything super organized and beautiful, right? My biggest suggestion is, especially if you're like a mid or a high level leader listening to this, have it tightly admin, okay? Have it where your administrators know what is acceptable and what is not. You're going to want a rules post. So we have a file that says, here's the rules if you're going to be in this group. If you're in this group, we do not accept poaching. We do not accept, the crazy negativity. We're not going to accept whatever, whatever your rules are. This is a positive space. This is where you're going to get anything you need. Follow along the hashtags, blah, 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 blah. And you're going to want to have a very strong pinned post, guys. I mean, it needs to have calls to action in it. It needs to have a video, more than likely, no longer than 2 minutes, okay? Because a lot of you I know are like still emailing out little prospecting videos. Just make it a pinned post in a group, right? Short, sweet stuff where it's like, this is how it works. If you're looking for this, follow this. If you're looking for that, follow that. Bam, 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 bam. Because a lot of people, they want to be in the group and then they kind of want to fly. They want to sit back a little bit. They want to read the post. They want to know what to do. And you'll start closing a ton of people almost accidentally because people will sit in that group and they'll watch, right? They'll be like, oh, I relate to him. I relate to him. Let me message Jessie Lee back. Yes, I am ready. I saw Simon's testimonial. He just blah, 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 blah. I'm in. He just, and all the social proof ends up closing people. So it's a 3-group system, just to simplify this really quickly for you, because I know I went through a lot of stuff. 3-group system, you basically have backstage, which is your team page. Only distributors are in there. That's where you teach them how the system works. That's where you teach them how stuff flies. That's where you have the checklists, the motivation, the whatever your team system is over here. It's a private secret group. You have a prospecting group. So for people who are wondering about the business opportunity, you add them, you tag them, you message them from this group. And then you have a customer group. All right, that's your 3rd group. Somebody says, Simon, you are looking good, man. What are those? You must be taking something. What is going on over there? And you add them, you tag them, you message them. You add them, you tag them, you message them. And I am a huge believer in messaging and asking, hey, can I tag you in a quick video? Instead of just being like, there's a lot of like the cold spammy stuff going on right now. And I don't participate in that, but I'm all about can I tag you in a quick video?
Woo! That was a mouthful, but it was really good stuff. That was really, really, really good. And ML Nation, this is something you need to listen back again. Really good stuff. I was taking a lot of notes. I learned something. that I need to do in my group, in my membership group. So thank you. But hashtags, because we provide a lot of value. Like we have over almost 100 videos now. Like I do daily trainings inside the group, and I realized that they're stored in a spreadsheet, but we didn't hashtag them. So thank you. I need to do that.
Yeah, like hashtag training is actually one of our hashtags, because when you're in a secret group, it won't take you out of the secret group.
Right.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
So you can click training, or you understand.
Yeah, and then you go really more specific, like recruiting training, objection training, invite training, social media training. Good stuff.
And as long as you have that up in that pinned post where people know, then they just click it, and then it's.
And then the pinned post, you tell them the categories, you tell them the hashtag. Very good.
Yep.
Really good stuff. See, ML Nation, I know that's why we're friends. I learned something. Very good. Hey, so talk about online duplication. How do you create, because you have a global team everywhere. How do you create duplication when you don't meet people? Is it through these groups?
Yeah, so I will give you, I'm such a giver. I'm just going to give this to you guys. So we have a social media launch plan on our team. And this, and I love this. This, again, was a super organic Jessie Lee thing. We were doing a Zoom chat with some of our leaders, and we were like, you know what? We need to come up with some systems. And I was like, let's just keep talking. It's coming. I can feel it. I can feel my creative energy moving. Like, I know it's there. It's at the tip of my tongue. And then it spat out. So if you've already followed me, you saw this happen. If you don't already follow me, just scroll back like 3 weeks on my page, and you'll see what I'm talking about. This is a launch strategy that I taught our team, and it is, I mean, it's wild, and it's an amazing way to get more eyes on your page. So we started out, and it's part of our team checklist now, where we have a social media launch strategy. At noon each day, you post a picture, and we did animals, okay? So we did, and by we, I mean the whole core group of people. So get together, you know, your leaders, get together your influencers, get together even just your team that's maybe not even influencers yet, but they want to learn how to do social media, and say, okay, tomorrow at noon, we're going to do the lion. Okay? And you can go on social media. You can find a picture with a quote on it. You can make your own if you're good at, you know, graphic design or whatever. But you're going to post something motivational around an animal at 12 noon. We're all going to do it. So what happens is, especially if you have some followers that like intermingle a little bit, it's going to flood their feed. And people are going to be like, what is happening right now? What are these animals? Oh, why is my entire newsfeed rhinoceroses? Like, what is happening? Why are there unicorns everywhere? What is going on, right? And then at 3 p.m., you hit them with a vulnerability post. And I promise you, I think this is something so many network marketers miss the ball on. I think so many of us try to pretend that we're perfect, that our life is all roses, sunshine, puppies, cupcakes, whatever. And we forget that that's not what people connect with. Like, if you throw me in a three-way chat with somebody and your edification is all about how I've made multiple six figures a month, I drive a Range Rover, I have this amazing, you scare off people. If you say something like, you know what, guys, like, you want to know why I love what I do? I love what I do because let me take you back to when I, you know, this was actually one of my posts I made. I was like, when I had an unhealthy relationship with food, I wouldn't say it was an eating disorder, but I was so controlled by food. I freaked out if I ate something that I felt like I wasn't supposed to eat. I was like, I hated the way I looked, even though I was the skinniest I ever was. I'd run 10 miles a day and be like, oh, you're still fat. And now I love that through network marketing, quite frankly, and all of these amazing supplements that so many companies sell, and I wasn't even talking about a company that I was with, to be totally honest with you guys. I just got really vulnerable, and I was like, I've never been more confident. Like, I love what I look like. I'm stronger, I'm faster, I'm healthier, and I eat, you know, steaks, and I don't feel bad about it, you know? But I was very vulnerable, and I did that. We did that for a week straight at 3 p.m. And then at 9 p.m., it was a straight up why network marketing post. So it was a why network marketing, because I've created the best friendships and relationships ever. It had to have a picture of you. Write that in your notes if you're taking notes. Okay, it could be like a throwback picture. Why network marketing? I've never traveled the world before, and here I am petting a kangaroo in Australia. Why network marketing? You know, being able to pay off my father's mortgage was one of the biggest blessings of my life. You know, it's something I never imagined being able to do. Why, you get the point. But it was 12-3-9, 12-3-9, 12-3-9, 12-3-9 for 7 days straight. And then there was so much chatter about what is happening. She's about to launch something. I don't know what's happening, but something's happening. But when we were ready to launch, it was an explosion because everybody was watching the page. Everybody was like, what is going on? Everybody was curious because that's what Facebook is all about. It's all about curiosity. It's all about getting eyes on you. It's all about marketing yourself and putting yourself in the position of power where they can't help but check your page. Your haters are checking your page. Your naysayers are checking your page. The people who love you are checking your page. The people who want to be in business with you but never could before will check your page. Like, it's an amazing launch strategy. And if you teach your team how to do that, they'll be so much more confident in what they're doing because people like structure, people like systems, people like knowing what to do. And that helped us duplicate globally. To go back to your question, I didn't forget, but that helped us duplicate globally because it was like people were shutting it down at 12 noon, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock across the world. And then the systems in and of themselves, they go around the clock, right? Like it's the best feeling in the world when you can refresh a back office and you wake up and it's like, oh, those Japanese were working. I see. Like, oh, there they are again. Okay, I see you over there in Wales. All right, I see you cranking that volume in. But making sure people feel part of something, I think that obviously high touch is very important, but I do believe that you can have high touch through high tech if you do it properly. And I believe that wholeheartedly. Another system I'll give you that you know if you watch my lives, but I'm going to tell you anyway, is 50-50-50. So 50-50-50 is just simply the following. I reach out personally to 50 team members every single day. Okay? And it's nothing crazy. It starts off as a, hey, Simon, how are you? Smiley face, maybe a crown emoji, maybe a unicorn emoji. Depends on what I'm feeling like. Okay? But just a, hey, Simon, how are ya? 50 of those, 50 customer reach outs. So, hey, and again, hey, Simon, how are you? Guys, you overthink so much. You don't need fancy scripts for this. It's literally connecting with people, building relationships. Then, your customer will say something like, oh my gosh, it's great. I've never felt better. Or maybe they've been nervous and they're like, you know what? Like, I'm really glad you messaged me because I'm kind of worried. This mascara is making my eyes water or whatever. And you can troubleshoot, right? And then 50 prospects a day. Okay, so I do a 50-50-50, but I'm also a little bit, excessive, a little bit extra in my business. So you could do 5-5-5, you could do 10-10-10, you could do 20-20-20, you could do 100-100-100 if you have time for that. But that will also help you build a global business because people across the world will have that high touch that so many people are longing for. So many people just want to feel you, and so many big leaders don't respond to their downlines. You're going to stop that. You're going to stop that after you listen to this podcast. I know you are. You're going to make me proud. I can feel it.
Amazing. Awesome stuff. Hey, we can go on and on. I'm going to wrap up. I just can't believe we've been talking 40 minutes already. We got to bring you on again. But so here's a couple of my favorite questions. Since in the last 2 years, we know things have been rocking for you, but the journey's up and downs, right? What is your worst moment in network marketing in the last 2 years?
Yeah, that's easy. So my worst moment in network marketing was absolutely finding out who your real friends are, right? And I'm not going to elaborate for dramatics or anything like that. But I will tell you that one of the biggest blessings of having as big of an online presence as I do and an online personality as I do is people know my character, right? Like if you've ever been exposed to Jessie Lee Ward before, I pour my heart out to the team. I give, etc. But when the ugly comes, and the ugly came, right? Of course the ugly came, right? Finding out who really is in your corner and finding out who is so far against you, it's a really hard lesson to learn. And it takes a lot of personal development and a lot of weeding through your feelings of not feeling like you belong somewhere or feeling like the world is against you or feeling like, what is wrong? Is it network marketing? Is it me? And kind of going through all of that. And I actually thought back to Holton Buggs' podcast that you did with him, where he was talking about, the personalities that network marketing attracts, and especially the top performers' personalities, right? And he's talking about it's that hustle muscle, right? He's like, if you want to make a lot of money in network marketing, it's hustle. He talks about that, right? And I just thought to myself, I'm like, you know what? I just have to remember that sometimes, that we're going to attract the good, we're going to attract the bad, we're going to attract the ugly. But as long as you're true to yourself and you stay true north, everybody will be able to eventually, even if it takes a long time, weed out who's good, who's bad, who's ugly. And as long as you stay true to you and you stay true to your character and you stay true to your heart and you don't twist it and whatever and get into the dramatics, but you keep hustling, you'll be good. And so that podcast actually came at a really good time for me. But that was definitely, again, without any crazy details, that was the hardest network marketing experience I've had so far, for sure.
Yeah, ML Nation, that was Holton Bugs. I forgot what number that was, but yeah, I thank you for the text. You texted me right after you listened to that.
Yeah, it's like 2 months ago, maybe. It was really, really good.
Yeah. You've grown so much. Like, where have you grown the most? You feel like? I mean, you're doing social media. Where have you grown the most?
Yeah, I appreciate that compliment, by the way. But I will tell you that my growth is actually so much, it's mental more than anything, right? So as much as my income has increased and all, physically I'm in the best shape of my life and blah, 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 the emotional, the mental, the spiritual has been the biggest growth. And I've actually switched from reading hard books. Like I still will have a book at a time. So I'm reading the originals right now. I don't even remember the author, so I'm sorry, but it's a really good book. It's about how nonconformists change the world. Shocker. But anyway, it's a very good book. Highly recommended. New York Times bestseller. Sheryl Sandberg does the intro, actually, and I love her too. I always recommend Lean In if you haven't already read that and you are a strong, empowering female. But anyway, I've gotten really into podcasts, and I mean like the podcasts where it has nothing to do with network marketing most of the time, and it's totally impacted my life. Like, to be honest with you, your podcast is the only network marketing training I still listen to, and I think I listen to it because I love you. And there's so much value in it. Like, you are crushing the network marketing game, like, for sure. I'm so proud of you, and I just love watching your growth. Like, yes, I'm so proud of you. But I have been listening to more, like, as soon as Andy Frisella's podcast pops up, I am on it. Like my ears have to hear it right away. It is not good for little ears. So if you have kids, please use headphones, but it's called the MFCEO Project. And I'm telling you, like, if you need to be yelled at a little bit, if you need to get your mind right, your finances right, your, entrepreneurial skills right, I get a lot more from people who are making multi-million dollars in outside businesses that have nothing to do with network marketing, and then creating systems that then work and flow as network marketing, personally. So I've been crushing podcasts with him, and I love, obsessed with Tim Ferriss. So I've been obsessed with him since 4 Hour Workweek. I read that book God knows how many years ago. But I started getting back into all of his podcasts. So his are very high level. So if you're, maybe have a hard time listening to super high level thinking, maybe it's not for you, but I love sitting down with an 1.5 hour long Tim Ferriss podcast. I listened to his podcast just yesterday with Richard Branson, and I was like, oh my gosh, my brain was exploding. I listened to one on how he invests, and he had all the top investors in the world. I mean, billionaires, not millionaires, billionaires, talking about how they pick their investments, how they angel invest. I mean, it's just higher level thinking, and I think when you grow to the capacity where you're stopping podcasts to look up words in the dictionary, even though you have a very extensive vocabulary, it's going to spill out into everything in your life. So it's been a lot of elevating that spiritual, emotional, and mental maturity for me over the last few years, because elevating that has changed the way I've been able to lead. I'm able to speak to people differently. I'm able to relate to people more. I'm able to relate on different levels. I'm able to influence at levels that I never could influence before, maybe because I didn't understand people the way I do now. But that's been my style over the last 2 years, for sure. Yeah,
I remember we were talking about Tim Ferriss's podcast, how even the couple ones that made a huge impact on me, really deep stuff. And I think my issue with that was you want to jump to the next one because he comes out with them, right? Instead of going back to them. So I decided it was a couple of them. I just went back and listened to 3 or 4 times and making sure I actually applied the stuff that was in there. But it's really deep stuff.
just yesterday. I said, how does he come out with this many podcasts this quickly? Like, he is cranking them out and they're this long. Like, how do you have any time to do anything? I'm trying to follow everything.
And so Emma Nation, if you get the lesson here, it's really about inner growth, which is just what Jessie Lee shared. It's like she's doing all this stuff, but it's how she's growing. And her podcast has kind of been her mentors, the people who are billionaires and what they do, how they think, how they approach investments. Because and as you've grown, you're attracting better and better people into your business.
Thank you.
Hey, so a couple more before we wrap up. Okay. What's your favorite? These are like pick your brain questions, so make them short, like one sentence. What's your favorite success quote that motivates you?
Build the kind of life that says "I told you so" without having to say a word. That's Mark Bell.
I like that. What is one habit that's helped you become successful?
Just building routines, for sure. So, and I'll just elaborate really shortly. Like, I won't make it a long one. For me, I realized I was struggling with the very strict morning routines, even though I had created a very big, like a strong system around it. It just wasn't working for me. I don't know why. So I just make sure that I always do certain things every day. So I have to look in a mirror and yell at myself affirmations every day, no matter what. It just doesn't really matter what time it is. So that works for me. Hopefully it works for you. I still eat at 1 in 7 for the last 8 years now. Systems. But that's, yeah. I won't elaborate anymore.
That's why we get along so well. So systemized routines. You don't need to think about it. What's the best piece of advice you ever received?
Best piece of advice I ever received. Oh, man. There's so much that applies right now to my life. Oh, man. Good one. Okay, best piece of advice I ever received is probably something really generic, like follow your heart, just to be totally honest with you. But then even better, and I don't know who, specifically said something like this, but here's a good one. Forget the follow your heart garbage. I'm kidding. Follow your heart. But for me, a lot of this is, follow and listen to people who you would exchange bank accounts and lifestyles with. There's a lot of noise in the world right now. There's a lot of, experts who, if you actually talk to them, like, did you actually build a business? Did you actually lose weight? Did you actually, whatever your thing is? And they tend to be kind of false idols, right? Like, especially in MLM, there's a lot of that going on. Unfortunately, I think we all know. But I would just say, follow and listen to people who you would genuinely exchange bank accounts and lifestyles with.
That's good advice, especially nowadays. Yeah, I know you love systems. Do you have like a favorite tool, like a Dropbox, Evernote, or something else you haven't mentioned before that you could recommend?
So this is funny because it's probably not even, I'm sure it's not fancy, but I love using WhatsApp. I don't know if anybody ever recommends WhatsApp, but I like using WhatsApp because up at the top, there's that little media and notes and whatever button. So, like, you can have those super fast conversations with people, and you can still go to the top of it, hit the media tab, and you can find all of the pictures, images, files, PDFs, documents, whatever, all right there. So I know I've given you a couple other things I use, but WhatsApp is definitely one of the things that lately I've been like, oh my gosh, how have I lived without this? Like, why am I texting people on a normal phone? Like, oh.
Hey, speaking of WhatsApp, here's a tool for you. Okay, this is like a different show. Normally I don't bring up tools, but since you're like a massive communicator, there's an app called Franz, like Hans and Franz, Franz, that combines all messengers. Could be emails, WhatsApp, Facebook business page inbox, Facebook personal inbox, LinkedIn, all in one app.
That
on the
sounds
Mac.
pretty phenomenal. I'm not gonna lie.
The only thing it doesn't do is Apple, iCloud. I think the iCloud. But everything else, like WhatsApp, everything's in there. So it's Franz, it's free, Franz. Go check it out.
Love it. I will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What's, instead of a book you could recommend, what are you reading right now?
I am reading the originals right now. It's that book I mentioned earlier. I don't remember who the author is. I'm sure it's downstairs. Of course,
Nonconformist, right?
Yeah, the Nonconformist book. I am reading that, and then I have been podcast crazy for the last, I'd say, 4.5, 5 months. So
awesome. And the $1 million question. Imagine you had to start all over again, and you knew no one, not even me, nor your doggies. What would you do? How would you build an MLM business from scratch? Where would you go and meet people?
I'm so excited you asked this because I knew it was coming, of course. It's predictable, but I swear, guys, get on Facebook Live. I would get on Facebook Live no matter where I was, no matter what I was doing, and I would tell people who I am, what my story is, what I'm building, why you need to do it, how you're going to do it, you know, what your goals are going to be, what car I'm going to be driving in the next 6 months because I got the best opportunity ever. I would go bang, 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 create vision in a Facebook Live, and I would launch full speed ahead. And I would respond quickly to people on Facebook Messenger. I think that's one of the weakest skill sets a lot of us powerful networkers have, is you do not talk to people when they respond to you. So let's connect with people more.
As we wrap up, any last words of advice, and then what's the best way our listeners can connect with you?
So last word of advice is always going to be follow your gut. I just think that's really important. I think a lot of people get caught up in, listening to a lot of outside noise. Follow your gut, follow your heart, and just do what you know feels right. And my best way to find me is always Facebook. So Facebook, my name is Jessie Lee Ward, Jessie space LeeWard. My face right now is a Halloween makeup thing. It changes every day, so don't freak out on me if you're like, what? It's that. But I do respond really, really quickly. That includes the filtered folders if you get stuck in there, so feel free to reach out.
Hey, thank you so much. This was so much fun. It was just like hanging out again. It's pretty cool.
I know.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hey, ML Nation, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and today you've been hanging out with Jessie Lee Ward. So keep up the momentum and go to mlnation.net and just type in Jessie. Just type in Jessie Lee, Jessielee at the search bar, and all the nuggets of wisdom, the stuff that she shared, will be right there. In order to be successful in life and network marketing and business, you must help others. So Jessie Lee, thanks again for sharing your valuable time on ML Nation. Not for one time, but for the second time. And we're grateful to you, and we appreciate you for having a positive impact, and also our friendship. Having a positive impact on millions of distributors worldwide. Thank you so much again, and God bless you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.